uni. I almost came there about 20 years ago, but I didn't get it right. Thank you. Oh, I finished. Thank you. Sustenance. Lovely. Right, so lovely. Who is a poet? Anyone? Any poets? Pomero's are obviously already read. Yeah, right. You'll identify with this. This is about what poetry can do to you. It's fucking scary. Apologies for the scary. Right, okay. So, poetry. Life, death, and everything else. Because that's what poetry can be. It could be your life, or it could just be a long, slow, lingering death. Because poetry, well, it can be about anything you want it to be. It can be an insight on humanity, a tirade against something wrong, or the abstract thoughts of a stoned mind. Because poetry can be all of this, and a whole lot more. It can be anything. It can come from anywhere at any time. And you've got to be prepared, you've got to get it down before it vanishes off into the ether of your mind. It is life that always inspires me to despair, and death, so far, has not been featured nearly enough. And living, I one day dream of being able to explain in poetic form, because poetry can be all of this and a whole lot more. Poetry can be anything you want it to be. It can be about annoyances or joy in this thing called life. Things you see are the way forward for me. It should be about all of this and a whole lot more. It could be about the state of your mind, the state of the nation, or even the state of the planet. Anything personal and important should be open for discussion. It should be about crazy travel plans, or a life where the road is the king and you'd follow him to the end. What would you do if extraterrestrials came to visit? You'd have to rush over and write about it, surely. There could be a riot going on outside your house, but with your TV on you feel safe as you switch on to the virtual reality of boredom. You turn on and switch off before realising that none of us get out of this thing alive. And there have been lives spent haunted by loneliness in rented rooms, waiting for the next time it's drunk o'clock in a bid to forget. In between the wasted time there is always the thought of work, where it's often pondered how everything seems shit. The modern life is rubbish, broken, and causes people to go out of their minds on Thursday lunchtimes and cease being untouched by madness, because, yes, poetry can be all about this and a whole lot more. Thank you. Thank you. What about beer? I guess we all like drinking, don't we? You're all students. We all like drinking. So this one's about drinking. Yeah? Beer-soaked visions of yesterday. How bad can it be when I'm stood in my local pub just for interest, the Ranelagh on St James's Street, and I'm drunk with beer-soaked visions of glory elsewhere. A pub where I don't need a stack of cash to get drunk, and the patrons, they're interesting, crazy, or just fucking fun. Or better yet, they just leave me alone, choosing to ignore me rather than taunt me or harass me in this place that should really feel like home. A place I need that does nothing except bring me down and leave me broke. Christ, I dream of the smoking days when bars had atmosphere rather than just smelling of old men and bad toilets. I dream of some of the great bars I've been in, of drinking and chatting with like-minded people, but here it's all upper middle class talk and other stuff that I bloody can't afford, not on my co-op salary. Like a beer and a chaser in this bar, if I'm on them longer than half an hour, then it'll be time to go home broke, and just as I begun to warm up. One more. Thank you. That was great. Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, sure. Because I don't get out much, apart from go to the pub to be miserable or come to poetry gigs and read poems, this one's about loneliness. Oh yeah, I'm back in the 90s. The early, I think it was about 93 to about 95.